ambitious people want to change the world. They want to change their lives. But when they realize how difficult and how much effort that takes, they realize that pissing on someone else's parade is way easier than building their own house. Luca Nation, episode 626 of Luca's Tigers and Browns.
What should we name this one? Before we even start talking, I don't pick up the titles.
Stop trying to be cardboard police is what I want to title it. Stop. Everyone thinks that they know what's best for the hobby. Everyone is like this internet genius.
I'm excited about this. You come in with some fire today.
Cards, zero cool. It's terrible for the hobby. Why would you be buying this? This isn't even art. Shut the fuck up. You guys out there, 2 categories, really 3. If you don't like the cards, don't buy them. Don't buy them. And keep moving along. If you like the cards, buy them. If you like the cards but they're too expensive, wait for a better entry point.
You know what's funny, dude?
It's that simple.
It's funny because, guys, we are recording this. Andrew's flying today. You know, he's a world traveler. He's a jet setter. So he's like, hey, we'll try to fit it in around the schedule. I said, hey, what are you doing now? Let's just record now before you get on a plane, right? So let's go right now, right? And he's like, sure, let's rock and roll. So we're recording this with, I think, a little bit of a different energy today because it's like 8:30 in the morning, right? Normally we are, evening recorders.
Imagine packing in the midst of a construction zone. A construction upstairs and a construction downstairs.
Well, I mean, listen, it happens. The good part about that is you could be packing in total silence, and then all of the new things in your house that are going to come from the construction wouldn't be there when the construction is done. So it's a glass half full type of thing today, right? So let's yoga. You're the yoga guy. Let's grab some kombucha, some morning kombucha, and let's breathe. Let's do some breathing exercises. Exactly. Woosah. And then say, look, the glass half full, right? My family is in such a good place that we're able to have construction done on our house, and we will have nice things when the construction is done. Yes, the construction's pain. Yes, it's inconvenient while I'm trying to pack for vacation. Poor Andrew needs to focus on packing. He needs to make sure he has the leopard print boxers.
Bikini.
He needs to make sure he has the green, bikini, the banana hammock.
I want
the
construction on my brain. If anyone out there does lobotomies like Shutter Island style, sign me up.
Dude, you need to relax. So there's construction going on. But what I was going to say was that I just did my morning routine, all my morning chores. I just got back in the house. As I'm driving back to the house, I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, what are we going to talk about? There weren't that many basketball games last night. What are we going to talk about? And the thing that popped in my brain also based on spending time on Instagram last night and, talking to hobby people, answering DMs, was exactly that. It was buying habits. It was a lot of the talking points of people about what to buy, what not to buy, you name it. And you come in and you jump in with we don't need these people governing the hobby anymore. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I like it because it's kind of on point with where I wanted to go. I don't want to say apology time, but I've been taking stock in the hobby because I got to tell you, there were doomsday predictions, myself included. Like, oh man, all the layers of the bottom are gonna fall out, and this thing's whole gonna crumble, and the bubble's gonna pop, and all that fun stuff. That didn't exactly happen. You know what I mean? We haven't seen the 30x growth that some people were predicting. We haven't seen the craziness, right? But people have stayed in the hobby, and is it an apology time? Sure, maybe an apology from me, sure, because I believe what backfilled. What I thought was everybody came in, they loved this basketball stuff, and basketball was a 20x, and you could buy cards for $1, $2, $4, grade them and make money. And when that wasn't around anymore, those people were going to leave. Now, I was right that wasn't going to be around anymore. No, but not all of them did. Instead, what they did was they focused on something else. People who were just in basketball focused on what they enjoyed or what they like. And that was my mistake again, Some people for that was F1. And I said that's not organic. But the small segment of people who are still collecting F1, it is organic. It is what they like. It is what they watch. It's what they enjoy. Tennis, golf. I said, oh, this wasn't going to stay. I have not heard anyone yell as loud for a sporting event as I heard you yelling, cheering for Rafa the other night in the Indian Wells, like the tiny tournament. It wasn't even a major. He wasn't even going to add
Rafa.
to his record of dominance. And you're
Stress fracture on his rib. Did you see that injury? Fractured rib.
No.
How does that
Did somebody hit him? Did somebody hit him with their balls?
I have no idea. But he has a stress fractured rib.
I mean, look, that happens. That's one of those omnibus injuries that's very rarely diagnosed.
Can I share how
Aaron
I think
Judge.
30X is cut?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
when
but
a new
I'll
product.
finish my apology after that. But go ahead.
Who are you
New
apolo-
product.
Who are you
The
apologizing?
hobby. Because I could
being
be
a
hobby
cynic?
police too. I could be hobby police too. I could be viewed as hobby
Please
police
don't.
too. Right? No. I what I mean is some of the things that I've said about like, oh man, that's not going to last. Oh, don't buy F1. That's a joke. How tennis? What are you doing? One of the posts, I want you to talk about the 30X, the new segments in a second. One of the posts that I read was one of our OG listeners, probably one of the first 50 people who listen to us, Manny Simone, right? He's doing his own stuff. He's making content now.
Sleeveless Manny.
Yeah, man.
Talking about
muscle.
Pokemon.
But one of the posts he had, and I think he's doing a podcast. I think he's doing, he's talking about what he enjoys in the hobby too, was he's a Pokemon guy through and through. He liked Pokemon. But the glitz and the glamour and the shiny, like you like to call it, the sexy new toy, that's what you call it, the shininess of basketball cards, the shininess of like sports cards, and the money being made there was an allure. It was a draw. And I believe what he would tell you now is that while he probably made some decent moves, remember he bought the Austin Matthews Young Guns and made some money on that, listening to our play, is that it wasn't enjoyable to him and there were more mistakes than wins because it wasn't his thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't where he wanted to be. It wasn't where he wanted to spend his time. And the lesson learned there is, you don't have to leave cards. The buy what you love thing, it does work on many levels. One, it's what you enjoy, but also if you're buying what you love, it's also something you're going to want to spend time becoming an expert in, becoming knowledgeable in, and knowing how to navigate the price turns, the ups, the downs, knowing where to put your money and where to stay away from. Whereas, a Pokemon person might come in and invest only in Chronicles because that's all they can get their hands on in basketball. Who the heck knows, So anyway, to the extent that, I was a doomsday prepper, to the extent that I was, saying, oh, you don't collect this. That's crazy. That's a fringe. There are plenty of people who have made very good money in F1 cards. I'll come back to what I say next chapter on that is, because I have a feeling it'll be a good commentary on what you're about to say, which is you see where 30Xs are. So where are your 30Xs?
Well, how do they form? So we always worry about pump and dumping as if it's just going around everywhere. Everyone's pumping and dumping, all that stuff. We love that term.
Dump everywhere in the hobby.
Everyone thinks everyone's just getting dumped on. But let's run some math, right? These Zero Cool boxes, they were auctioned for $2,200, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dutch auction, blind Dutch auction, $2,200.
Yep.
800 of them. Now they're selling for $14,000, $15,000, $10,000, whatever. Okay?
Somebody got a bargain on our Whatnot show, didn't they? Woo!
So who got $2,000 in that? $2,200. Who does that go to?
Well, the first $2,150
it goes to Zero Cool.
Is Zero Cool, but remember, that's not on profit because they had to make the product. You know what I mean? But yeah,
$2,100 goes to Zero Cool.
Zero Cool gets the money.
There's 8,000 in Delta, 10,000 in Delta. Who does that go to? The person who took a chance.
The people who were willing to put their money on the line for a new product and pay $2,100, $2,150 for a box of something that's never been released before and not know how that was going to fall.
Correct. Hobbyists, people that are in the hobby that have money that have done well. They bought that box. Now they're going to break that box, right? They break that box and there's singles in there. And people are paying $1,000 for singles. We'll talk about shilling in a second because South Park Cards 2, he's such a genius, broke as fuck, but he's such a genius. Can't even use his South Park Cards 2, who's like this. Everyone's a private investigator on Instagram. They're able to detect fraud all over the place, but they can't even do it for themselves. Anyway, let me.
Is there a South Park Cards 1?
His account got compromised.
Oh, okay.
And he actually has some good content, but I hate when people say their opinion as fact. That frustrates me. And then the hobby goes and runs with it. So now these people, the Shy Ways, the Lenharts, the people that got the box cheap, they either break it or sell the box, right? And now they have $8,000 in profit. Are they going and taking and buying a vacation or buying a car? They're going and putting that money right back into the hobby that you guys love. And you know who's coming in and buying those singles? One feedback, zero feedback. It's NFT people who own VeeFriends who want to buy their own base card. And for them, $1,000 is a joke. It's 0.3 ETH. They laugh at that. They throw 0.3 ETH at My Little Orphan. So they say, hell yeah,
I do more than that at My Little Orphan. I threw a lot.
Hell yeah, I'm going to buy my own VeeFriend. I own the Hungry Hippo. I want to buy the Hungry Hippo base card. The Ambitious Amphibian. I have the VeeFriend. I bought in from day one. I love Gary. He's made me so much money on my VeeFriend. That was 1 ETH at one point. Now it's 16, 17 ETH. Of course I want to buy my own tangible card, the first release. They come in, they buy, they create an eBay account, and they buy. And you guys out there are like, oh my God, how does someone with 0 or 1 or 7 feedback buy on eBay? Not everyone has 1,000 feedback. Some people just wanted to buy their own VeeFriend. There's 10,000 VeeFriends.
Well, let's take a second, right? Because the point that you're trying to make, which is being missed in a lot of the emotion and that kind of stuff, is that maybe it's possible. Now, we are not detectives, and we can't get through the eBay feedback system, and we have not researched this, but maybe it's possible that the bidding that you're seeing on VeeFriends with 0s and 1s and low feedback, single digit feedback, is because it's not the traditional card buyer, sports card buyer, eBay sports card buyer that's buying a VeeFriend single. No, the people who are traditional sports card buyers, the Shyway Vlogs, the Lenhart, the Bleecker Trading,
LAFC
they bought the box and they're selling the box. And the people who sold the box will have a high feedback because they're the ones who knew about this from our podcast, from Sports Card Nonsense, from Jay Lee, from Josh Luber, promoting it, from Gary promoting it. The ones who actually got in on this, the sports community, got in on this, they're selling the box. But the people who are buying it, maybe they have low feedback because they're not sports card collectors. They're not people who are on eBay all the time making jokes about PSA 9 looks PSA 10. Raw card should grade PSA 10. They're not the ones who are on there buying millions of cards and getting their feedback up. They're people who have been spending the last year probably making more transactions on OpenSea, probably making more transactions in maybe Candy or Panini Digital or wherever it is in the NFT world. And now they are the people who know about this product but found out about it after you did. After the sports car community was able to get it at $2,000, they found out about it after, and maybe what Andrew's saying, possibly, we could be wrong, this could be completely wrong, but maybe the low feedback on these things is because it's people who have not purchased a ton of cards on eBay. Maybe they're purchasing NFTs. Maybe they're VeeFriend owners who want to get a physical version of the NFT they own. And think about that. The NFT they own is a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 NFT. What do they care about spending $1,000 for a card of it? So it's possible. It's a plausible theory.
So notice how we have opinions and we don't distribute them as facts to kind of get the hobby all riled up. And what's the point? What's your end goal to get people riled up? Okay, these guys are bad. This guy's bad. Everyone's terrible. Dude, the hobby that you're shitting on is the one that you want to put food on your table. You're literally biting the hand that has fed you. If you don't like the cards, if you don't like the boxes, move along. Create your own product. Go to a cafe. Buy a card you like. Say, hey, I don't love the art, but I support this guy. Instead, all you guys want to do is shit on people who've tried to do ambitious stuff. You judge the product, but you don't judge the effort. And I think it's just a bad look. I really do.
You know what I'm thinking of as you talk? There's a movie. I always go with movies, right? There's a movie, and Kevin James is he's a teacher, but he goes to a UFC fight. It's called Here Comes the Boom. That's the name of the movie, right? And he he talks about how he used to be energetic with teaching and the whole 9 yards. And he teaches science, I think. And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go." He becomes a UFC fighter, which is ridiculous. But he said, "Hey, when I was energetic about teaching, when I was enjoying this, I used to get up on my desk. I used to stand on my desk and teach and get all excited, right?" And he does it at one point, right? He talks about how he's going to he teaches science. He talks about like how a system gets together, right? I forget if it's electrons, neutrons, you name it, right? And they're kind of all in one space. And he gets up on a desk and he says, "All right, well, this one's not, it's not right." And it bangs into this one and it bangs into this one. And he's up on the desk and he's like, "I'm banging it and I'm bang." And he goes, "But you know what? Then if instead of trying to bang into the other ones, it starts doing what it's supposed to do, right? It stays, this part of the system stays in its lane. And you know what happens? The rest of the people around it, the rest of the electrons around it, they start moving and that next thing you know, the entire system is kind of moving in tangent with one another, and it's working and it's flowing and it's moving forward and it's progressing together." So why did I think of that? Because what you said was, and take a look, guys. Here comes the boom. It's very funny. Kevin James, he's like, Chris Farley type of my type of humor. This is definitely YouTube.
In your face.
Fun stuff. Right? Like that, right? So, I mean, and
I'm sure people have said that you are Kevin James. I bet they stopped you in New York and said, "Hey,
you like this whole thing, So anyway, what you just said was this. I've never got confused with Kevin James. The voice, a lot of people say it sounds like Ed Burns. You know who Ed Burns is? Anyway, whatever. That's what I've heard Ed Burns for the voice. So anyway, why do I bring this up? Because you're right. The question is, what's the end goal for people trying to cause drama, right? We're all in this system. Hobby content people, hobby pages, breakers, stores, podcasters, the card porns of the world, whatever it is, right? If there's
incorrect.
Drama,
the collectors are above us all.
Okay, well, maybe they sit above and watch us, right? Like the gods that they are. But listen, if you have these ones and the goal is to smash into each other, right? The goal is to, I'm going to cause drama, right? Well, then you come out with that as your goal. It's like, you're smashing into the guy next to you. And then he's getting all riled up and he's smashing into the guy next to him. And next thing you know, everybody's banging into each other. And the system, as Kevin James was doing on his desk, it's going left. It's going off to the right. It's distracted. And it can't all operate together and move the whole thing forward. So, again, I'm guilty of it also. Should I be cheerleading for the $1 million flawless break instead of, putting up a vulgar story like I did, saying I don't really care about it? Probably. It probably wasn't nice of me to do that, but I see something like that, and we can pivot into that and tell you my thoughts about that. I see something like that, and I actually am fearful. That's $1 million break. It's great headlines. And maybe I shouldn't be worried about the people who are in that because they're in a different stratosphere of finances than I'll ever be.
There's two different things, Cage.
Shoot.
You could be worried for me as your friend, realizing I'm a gambler and say, "Hey, dude, I've seen this path that you're on. This is not a good path." That's a different thing than being like, "I'm afraid of casinos, so all you guys should stop playing slots."
Right.
We live in a country where, for better or worse, there is freedom.
They could take our lives, but
it's different to have the one-on-one conversation to say, "Hey, dude, I know how breaking wax works, and I know it's addictive. And when you break at such a high buy-in point, it'll be really difficult for you to recoup that cost. Just know that going in."
Yep.
Okay. Hey, dude, this V-Friends release, some of it might look a little fishy. You might be buying in at a pretty high point, so don't expect the base cards to be any higher than $1,000. Versus just trying to destroy someone else's project or trying to destroy Blez's and Leighton Sports Cards break. They put it on. If it's that bad, no one will buy in.
That's sold out in like a day.
It's capitalism. If you don't like the way the system works, leave. It's just the way things are done. It's capitalism.
Well, I don't want to say leave. So first of all, you will always be guilty of buying at a high point. No matter what you buy, you're buying at a high point. But that's just you. So the next thing. Okay, look at you. You get it. So anyway, the next part. You don't have to leave the hobby, but I talk about my systems. There are different lanes. right? And you can move from one lane to the other. It doesn't mean you have to stay in that lane. You know, you can move to a different lane. You could try something new, right? You know, same as me, right? If I'm driving in the middle lane, right, maybe I'll probably in the slow lane, right, or vintage cards. You know, I'm in the slow lane, the grandma lane on my vintage cards, right? I don't have to swerve in front of the middle lane where they're driving faster than me with their F1 cards. Let them drive. And you know what? Maybe if there's a space, maybe I can jump into some F1 cards and figure it out. Okay. If I don't like it, I'll go back into my vintage lane. You know what I mean?
You know what
Doesn't
I
mean
think of it as?
I got to get off the highway, right? No,
You remember in high school we'd have lunch, and we'd all sit at our own lunch tables, and it would be like our own little cliques.
Yes.
I think of the drama starters as the guys that start the food fights.
So you're showing your age, because the lunchroom's not like that anymore. After High School Musical with Zac Efron, the entire thing changed.
Everyone's just
they had
dancing?
a whole production number. They all danced together. It was, stick to the stuff, And I mean, the football guys, the basketball team wanted to bake souffles. The punk kids wanted to, get off the skateboards and be cool. And the musician kids.
I just want a soft cookie and warm cheese to dip my pretzel in. If I got that, I was a win.
That sounds vulgar.
Well, because some days they'll give you 3-day-old cookies and they're like rocks. I don't want that.
Or they'll
give you.
Yes, I'm wondering who's the cookie and where your pretzel's going into the warm cheese. I don't know. Is this like
or sometimes
being
the cheese
gross?
is cold and coated, and it's disgusting.
That's gross.
But if it's warm cheese and a warm cookie with a soft baked pretzel, delicious. That's all I want.
I had a soft baked pretzel last night for dinner. The place I went to last night had this like jumbo sized pretzel with beer cheese and like a cracked honey mustard, like 2 dipping sauces with this big pretzel. It's a good time.
Beer
good dinner.
Cheese. It doesn't even make sense, but I'll add that.
It's beer and cheese together, and they mix it up, and it's like a beer flavored like cheese dip, beer cheese. Yum.
It's like taking like a hit of a dab. Like you're not smoking the whole thing, but you're just like a light dab.
Wait. I'm gonna learn. A hit of a what?
Well, like what's the beer doing? Like you're not getting drunk, but it might like stimulate.
Come on, teach me here.
Like
a what?
Like those guys. It's the guys.
You're not saying a dab.
It's a dab.
Tell me
it's a dab.
Dab. What's a dab? What is it? What is that?
I'll explain. It's the guys walking around Nashville that like just take like a quick hit, like you've seen those. Like they have the little pens with the vape,
like a vape pen.
Yeah, Tyler from 1:37 p.m. He can't go without
it. But the vape pen is called the dab.
Yeah, it's like a dab pen. It's like you're a junkie, but no one can really tell.
A dab. All right, I'm learning new stuff here, guys. I really am. And since it goes with this episode, that's their lane. If that's what they enjoy, that's what they enjoy. If you want to hit your dab, great. If you like Andrew
wanted to,
no, yeah, I was doing that. I was doing my Cam Newton.
Dab.
No, that's not. I'm Is that a dap with a P instead of a B? There's a difference. B. Okay. I'm learning. Stay in your lane. You guys want to be vape penning? Then go right ahead. I'm not gonna fault you on that. If you guys see me Mint Collective this weekend, most likely I will have a cigar. Right? I'm cigaring it up. I don't care. I don't going out to Vegas. If you see me and you got a half hour and you're not doing anything, let me know. We'll go outside. We'll walk around.
I once heard Patrick Bet-David say this, and I've been really
bring it for everybody.
He's got interesting takes. If you listen to
Zion's gonna score 100 points. Here's the problem with that. He's got to play first.
Dude, Zion dunked. Let's freak out.
Zion dunked. He dunked so hard his shirt fell
off. He said that the scariest people you'll meet in life are the lazy, ambitious people. The lazy, ambitious.
The scariest people will you meet in your life are the lazy, ambitious people. Okay, now explain.
Because they care. They want to win in life, right? There are those people that they're not super ambitious. They're just.
This sounds like me.
It is a little bit like you until you met me.
See.
The scariest people are the lazy, ambitious people because they want to succeed. They want to have an impact. Ambitious people want to change the world. They want to change their lives. But when they realize how difficult and how much effort that takes, they realize that pissing on someone else's parade is way easier than building their own house. So they use that ambition, that competitive energy, that spirit to want to change, but they want to go the easy way. And the easy way is shitting on what someone else is building, not built something yourself. It's way
Now,
easier
if you
to
had like
destroy
5
your
million
someone else's house.
followers, that was like a Gary Vee clip you just did right there. Like I'm
It's such a-
waiting for you to slam some blueberries. I'm waiting like, oh, I got blueberries.
Dude,
Like that was like
I
would
understand
put
why Gary's annoying. Here's why Gary's annoying. He creates so much content and he speaks so much that just about anything that any other human being says, it could be like, "Oh, Gary once said that," and it's like, "Well, fuck." Like, I also have my
Simpsons
own
did
thought.
it. Simpsons did it. It's soon. Soon it's gonna be Gary Vee said that. Gary
Like,
Vee
literally.
said that. Yeah.
Blueberries by Gary Vee. Like, I
He
used
should
to
make
put
his own
them.
blueberry line. I don't know how he doesn't have organic blueberries, farm to table, FTT baby. Little Gary V blueberries. They make a killing at VCon. Oh, I'm starving. Why don't they have any food here? Well, go to the back left corner and get your $12 bunch of Gary V blueberries.
My mom actually does that. She loves like going like the farmer's market and getting like a box of blueberries. They're so delicious, but we can't eat them all. It's like a huge box. It's probably Gary
Blueberries.
told her
I
to
eat
do it.
blueberries like it's my job.
They're delicious. I mean, everyone likes blueberries. It's not just a Gary thing. We used to have a
He's
blueberry and
made
raspberry.
his. I
Yeah,
can't think
it's
of a blueberry. I can't buy a blueberry now without thinking about Gary V.
These are pretty cool. These are dark chocolate covered blueberries.
Ooh, hey now.
Delicious.
I got dark chocolate covered cherries over there. That was a gift to Mrs. Cage from a listener. Dark chocolate covered cherries. You gotta love it.
Do you
I
ever
love
play?
it. I have plays for days. Do you ever play? Listen, how about this? Basketball
ahead.
for a second. Talk about basketball because I know you watch.
Bulls are fraud. Bulls are fraud.
Is it going to upset you? Like, are you recovering from money losses last night? Should I not talk about NBA? Is it going to be like traumatic for you?
No,
Slightly?
It's commonplace. It would be painful if I won and we talked about it.
Guys, listen, take a second here. All right. We come at you every day, right? We talk here where we have some episodes every day. We have lives just like you. Andrew he woke up this morning pissed off at the world because the buckets did not go his way again. We talked about gambling last night. We talked about gambling again this morning. It happens, right? It definitely does. I have to figure out whether or not I want to make time this evening to take my daughter to a drama show at her school that she's not even in. She just wants to watch her friends.
Dude, Leah is the best. People like Leah are incredible.
See Sound of Music, put on by a high school performance, and sit there for an hour and do that. We have normal shit that goes on also. Here's the not normal. Can I buy flowers for all my friends who are in the show? She wants to make it like a Broadway production and just throw flowers on the stage when they're done. It's very cute. It's very nice. We'll probably wind up doing it. But why do I say this? Right? Because
Zac
I
Efron
love
cards
the
are your
messages.
play.
No, I love
look
the
them up.
messages from our friends. You know what my favorite messages from our listeners are? It's like, I don't want to out this particular person. He sent me a message late last night. He's like, "We love your podcast. I listen to it every day. And here, it's not going to sound like a big deal to you, but it is a big deal to me. It means a lot in my house. You're the only podcast that when my wife comes in the room and hears me listening to a podcast, she doesn't roll her eyes. Yours is okay. If she ever hears me listening to another podcast besides you guys, she rolls her eyes and leaves the room. That's nice. That's funny stuff. I like the white stamp of approval for our podcast.
It's necessary. That's the only reason that our podcast has been active for so long.
We got the stamp of approval. We got the approval. So listen.
And we deliver.
Now, cards. Obviously, is VFriends a play? Is basketball a play now? Is tennis a play now? What's the play, right? Is the play to be aware of what's going on in the markets? Is it to, be careful when things pump? I know you say that the VFriends stuff, that it might not be pumped, right? And that it may just be people coming in who aren't traditional card buyers. But is the play on the other side of that to also use some caution? And that while the people posting are doing it, to say, oh, well, this is shield, is there also some valuable information in those posts that we can glean? Can we say, all right, it's just one piece of information. Andrew's presenting you another side that the bids may have low feedback for this reason. But is it also time to maybe, exercise a little bit of caution?
Well, it depends, Cage. It depends. It really does. Like if you're buying to try to make money and this is your number one source of income, it's probably a high buying point. If you're a $250 a year earner, you've bought 10 VeeFriends and you're sitting on 500 Ethereum, you don't care if the card is $500 or $1,000. You want your VeeFriends card. You're not even going to blink at $1,000 because you're a top 1% earner in America. So we're all in different categories of life. I think the loudest are the people that live in scarcity mindsets. The people that are just grinding to make $1. They're the loudest, but we forget that there are people that make $400,000 or $500,000 a year. They bought into crypto early. They were on VeeFriends early. They're sitting with a gorgeous stack of disposable investment income. For them, what do they care if they buy in for $1,000? They think this is just cool for them.
And keep in mind, when you're talking about that, that audience of buyer, right? In a couple weeks, the Series 2 of VeeFriends NFTs are going to come out. There's going to be 55,000 of them, each one selling for approximately $1,000, and they will sell out. So there's 10,000. So less than 20% of the supply. And, when a box costs, $2,200, that means each card is $200 something. So there's less supply at less price. It does make sense, if you look at it from a high level, that people would be spending this kind of money on the intellectual property that's there. And
you guys forget, like, Gary's new to this game. He's getting up there as 45, but he's new to the game in the sense he started 2012, 13, 14, 15. The people that have been following him have done really well. Really well. And he has an army of people that he's done good things for. So it's not just his cards, it's not just his IP. It's a lot of people that believe in him and want to see him succeed. And you're talking about the first generation card that he hand signed. And the people believe he could be the next Walt Disney. You guys might scoff and laugh at that, but there are people who believe that. So just understand that as well.
So, the thing about it is, going back full circle, if this is your thing, great. If it's not, don't put your $1,000 in a VeeFriend.
Buy Giannis.
Buy Giannis. Giannis.
Well,
Cage, Giannis
look at the sports card.
Dude,
Giannis's game has completely evolved. You've watched the game yesterday. He
He's
takes
gone
mid-range
from
fadeaway now.
Like a likable lizard to a what VeeFriend is he now? Like a dominating dinosaur or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, he now pulls up mid-range shots. He's added like a Durant type of get to the baseline, fade, like, dude, his 2-point game is on a different level now too. He swooshes his free throws. Like, he's not the same shooter he was 2 years ago.
Listen, we'll see what happens. I know you hate this, but I saw Vegas odds yesterday for winning the championship. And believe it or not, Vegas is giving better odds to the Celtics than the Bucks right now. The Suns have better odds than everyone, right? But the Celtics...
What about the Warriors?
No. The top 3 teams right now were the Suns, the Celtics, and the Bucks. Celtics. The Bucks were only like, a 12% chance to win. The Suns were like 30-something, and the Celtics were like 20-something. Crazy. You don't buy it? You don't think the Celtics are the team that comes out of the East? You think it's the Bucks?
No.
The Bucks just dominate. Giannis just dominates everyone.
Yeah. I think the Celtics-Bucks go 7 games. The Celtics are playing incredibly well. They found their groove. People don't respect Al Horford either. Al Horford.
But don't be a sensitive centipede here. But are the Heat just pretenders? The Heat are the 1 seed, right? You
remember the Jazz? You remember the Jazz?
Everyone's got to go through the Heat, right? Yeah, I remember the Jazz. Yep.
First, best record in the West for, I think, 2 years in a row. They're just, but you even called it. You said they're not threatening in the postseason. Nope. And it's different to have the best record because you finished with a 95% win percentage against the bottom teams, but in the playoffs you're not playing those guys. You're playing the best of the best. And how do you
Yeah.
match up against the best? So,
Bam! Adebayo. No,
I like Bam, but they're just worse. They're just
I just
worse.
like saying Bam.
I like the Heat. I like Tyler Hero. Guys, you have to remember, right now might be the best time to sell Tyler Hero cards. He's in a contract year. There's a reason he's putting up big numbers. He's in a contract year. He's taking a lot of shots. He's their main scorer.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Tyler Hero is a poster child for cards. He is the poster child for this last couple years of cards. Because I'll bet you what you just said, there are people running to the computer right now or on it and muting us and saying, what's Tyler Hero averaging? What? He's scoring? People who probably thought Tyler Hero was coming off the bench, right? Hero, I would love to look at like the Tyler Hero index on Market Movers. You know what I mean? Or Card Ladder, or whichever one you guys like to use. You know, maybe not Card Ladder. I don't know. Whatever it is you're using today. I would like to take a look at the Hero because Hero was one where it was like he came out of nowhere, right? Bubble. And we talk about this all the time, right? He starts to climb the price mountain. And his prices went up, right? And then he got that Lloyd Christmas haircut and the mountain. They just fell off the cliff, right? The haircut happened. He got all dumb and dumber. And he was out partying. And he was, sixth man again. He wasn't a starter. And it was a little bit of an uptick, but yeah, look at that. Look at that. People don't even care about Tyler Hero. And if what you're saying is right, this is a dude who's now leading them in scoring. He's putting up numbers. I have to tell you, if we're being honest, I didn't know that either.
Over 20 points a game.
Wow.
Off the bench. Jamal Crawford type of numbers.
Hero. Does it matter that he's coming off the bench, though? Do people not put their money in six men? Is that part of it?
I still haven't figured out exactly where people put their money. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I'm good at scouting and understanding like the X's and O's, but understanding market dynamics, it's difficult because you have a certain level of rationality and a certain level of irrationality, right? And it's kind of hard to, it's just difficult to figure out. I really will tell you because here, I'll give you an example. A lot of really successful collectors, I'm using this like this, bought into Steph Curry at basically the highest of the high points, right?
Yep. Yes.
And in theory, now is the time to buy Steph Curry. But has the market shifted? Is he no longer relevant right now? Are we looking elsewhere? I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did, because then I would be a billionaire. Or at least a millionaire.
I mean, listen, I get it. So your play is going to be Jason Tatum today?
No, it's going to be... So we talked a little bit about lunch tables, dancing, basketball. This guy has it all. He has it all. He's got the swag, the looks, the charisma, the personality. And this is none other than Zac Efron. So you can
that's a play?
find
Troy Bolton.
Troy Bolton cards on eBay for $5.99. And it's not just Troy Bolton cards. It's the collectible fun cards.
Look at that.
Look at this right here.
Oh,
for
my goodness. You have to buy that. I'm buying
Zac Efron, Disney Drake Sticks collectible fun Xmas gift right here.
I mean, how do you not buy that? Troy Bolton. Come on now. Look at that. Wow. I'm buying this. Drink Sticks. What is a drink stick? Is that like a dab?
I'm not sure.
I love that you went
inside of it.
I love that you went Disney. You want to know what? Today's episode 626, right?
I don't even know if these are literally powdered soft drink electrolytes because that's what it says here.
Yeah, that's what it is.
On the front it says collectible fun cards. You have no idea what you're getting, and that's part of the beauty.
Hopefully, you get some electrolyte drinks. You get some stuff. So it is a Disney episode because Experiment 626, which is today's episode. That is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. The little blue dude, Stitch. He was Experiment 626. So that's what I think of with 626. I can't give you a Stitch card because I don't think there are any of them out there. There are pins, but
you know what a cool number? 689.
Why is that cool?
because 6, 8, 9, if you flip that, that's actually the same number backwards. A parallelogram.
So it's not a parallelogram. You'd have to flip it upside down. There's a different word for that. I know what you're saying. Like 6, 8, 9, and then 6, 8, 9. It's like you have to like flip it over, and then it's the same. All right, I got you. That's interesting. I mean, if Ian was here, he would say you're getting it wrong. That 7 is the number, not 6-minute abs. 7-minute abs. You can't even get your heart rate going. It's not even 6. It's 7-minute abs. Step into my office. Why? Because you're fired. And 7 is the number to be afraid of, because 7, 8, 9, 6. That's what Ian would say. The dad jokes. They just keep on rolling. They just keep on rolling.
You're a lucky man. You know? You have a daughter who wants to literally buy flowers for everyone in attendance tonight.
She does.
At people. And Ian, who's a dad joke king at the age of 8.
So, guys, here's my play for the day, and it may be too late, but I think he got a little bit of time on it, because I think he's just going to go a little nuts on it. If you're not, listen, follow Andrew's page. You know, if you can take a second and follow my personal Instagram page also. Andrew gives me a hard time all the time, because somehow I only have like 2,200 followers on Instagram, but our podcast has like almost 8,000. He's like, everyone who follows the podcast should follow your page. I said, all right, so we'll if you have a second, give a follow. But follow our Luka Tiger LeBron podcast page, because the guys behind the scenes, and we got like a whole team doing this stuff now, they put out some really great content. And my play today is based on one of the pieces of content that was put out yesterday. You know, they did a really good job of it. And sometimes we get texts like, hey, what do you think of this thing? And you know, Andrew will bounce it back and forth and say, oh, that's per 162 baseball games. That's sort of like the PER, or the per 36 minutes, or, you know, the whole like basketball and stuff like that. And we put up this cool graphic yesterday comparing Tatis and Acuna. And we compared them for a reason, right? You know, both of them have some injuries. Both of them have missed some time. They're both young guys. They are, you know, two of the big names. They put up numbers. And what was funny, and how my play evolves, is a lot of the messages that I got and a lot of the comments where we asked people to comment, which one would you buy? Who would you be a buyer of? Tatis or Acuna? We got a lot of replies saying Soto. That wasn't even the question, right? It's like, hey, Ian, what do you want? You want some pistachio or some vanilla chip? No, I'll take vanilla. That wasn't the question. You're answering your own question, right? So but what's funny about that is, here's the guidance on that. Andrew has talked about this all the time. He says he's a hockey player. Now, I get out there on the ice, I'm going to fall on my fat ass. So I'm not a hockey player, right? I'm a goon. I will get in the penalty box just so I don't have to fall on the ice. But here you go. He wants to skate to where the puck is going, not where the puck already is. Right? That was Andrew's, you know, sports card analysis for this year, right? So take our little post to mean that. The other way of saying Andrew's hockey thing is, buy what everybody else likes, not just what you like. So here we put a post up of Tatis and Acuna, because that's who we wanted a post about. But the collecting world, it takes the grit-eating world 20 minutes for water to soak into a grit. How were you able to do it in 5, Mr. Tipton? Were these magic grits? Do the laws of physics not apply on your stove? Anyway, point being, people want Soto. They didn't want Tatis or Acuna. They wanted to talk about Soto. Ken Golden answered the question. Did he say Tatis? No. Did he say Acuna? No. He said Soto. Ken didn't even follow the instructions. Well, guys, if everybody is saying Soto, if Ken Golden, who can't even control his own daughter, because she is crazy on Instagram. Let me tell you, we love the posts, Laura. We love it. Keep them coming. Anyway, if he's going to go Soto, we got to go Soto, right? So Soto's the play. Why? Because he's done nothing but prove all of the Soto backers right. The dude goes out there and he mashes, and he stays healthy. He doesn't play recklessly. I haven't seen him go down with it. Now, I'm not going to fault some of these injuries. You run into the wall, you dive, you name it. Some of these guys, the injuries happen. Tatis getting injured on a motorcycle, which is how I think this injury happened. I'm not giving you a pass for that. That wasn't you diving for a ball and hurting your wrist. That wasn't you, running into a fence trying to make a catch, something like that. No, this was you being a fool. Soto doesn't seem to do that. And he dances. But he doesn't dance like Tatis in the dugout. This dude dances in the batter's box. He dances while the pitcher's throwing him the ball. And he is young, and he's already put up crazy numbers. He's already got a ring. And I think what people are trying to tell you when they respond to this is about as safe of an investment as he gets. And maybe when he signs a contract coming up, maybe he goes to a big market team. Maybe he becomes the face of baseball for the next, decade plus. Because he's in his early 20s still. People forget how young the dude is. So I am going to try to listen now to what the folks in the hobby are telling us, where they want to be. And if people want to put their money in Soto, guess what? Put your money in Soto now and hang on to it for a little while. Watch him match this year. What do you think? Does that make sense?
I'll say one thing. So I have a sister. She's 22 years old. It's really difficult being a young girl, a young woman in today's generation, man. Because with Instagram and showing out and what these girls post, the way to get noticed, with men, the way to get noticed is to post a Montana PSA 10 or a PMG Jordan. Girls, the way that they feel when they're a young age that they need to get noticed is by showing their body, their looks. And it's funny, what used to be considered, you brought up Pamela Anderson as a play.
Yes,
right?
That's my
that
play.
Was one day, that was like risque what she would post. Like that would be, that would not be allowed to post. That would be like your Playboy magazine. Now everybody on Instagram that's a girl that wants to get noticed goes that route. So I honestly, I feel bad for girls growing up. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to navigate that.
So what you're telling me is you're going to start posting more. I have pictures of you. You used to post those stuff. You used to post those topless shots yourself. I've saved those. Should I start posting those on my page again? Hey guys, here's topless Andrew at the beach. You had much more flowy, like 80s teased hair at the time. Do you remember that? You had this Matthew McConaughey, like coiffy stockbroker in Wolf of Wall Street, like poofy thing going on.
It got a lot of attention. I'll get it. I think I should get it back.
Yep. You have an interesting construction staff behind you going on right now.
That's my mom. She doesn't. No, you don't have to come on camera.
She can come on camera. Hi, everyone.
She is in charge of the construction staff. That's why
the general
doing such a good job right now.
She's the GC.
That's another episode, Luka Nation. A lot of topics. Probably will never do
an episode
after today, after how we went about it. We will be
Why?
canceled.
What's wrong? How are we going to get canceled? What are you talking about?
Attacking the hobby. Ken Golden's daughter.
We didn't attack the hobby, and we definitely didn't attack. Listen, that was not an attack. We love Ken. We love his daughter. We love the hobby. What are you talking about? This was a good episode. Morning energy.
We don't love Ken Golden's daughter. We respect her.
Oh, I love her. She's great. I've met her many times. She's awesome.
Bleeker?
Yeah, she's the best.
Peace.